from the toilet. Kyle called the city. I hope this will stop this grotesque experience.
Well, when did that happen?
Karen Williams. This was before.
Did he say that when that was, though?
Well, I can look it up in my back text.
Okay.
But then his wife goes on and says, the first one was found in our hallway by the powder room. My cat was batting it around, went in the back room, and at the time I had no idea how it got into the house. Second one was in the toilet bowl. Its head was in the surface water, flicking its tongue. I couldn't believe my eyes, and I didn't think to take a pic. I'm terrified of the creature.
You told me that was 7 or 8 years ago.
No. Well, you know what?
I'm just telling you what they told me.
Well, I am telling you what I have texts from his wife
And
the texts from the city, and I've called Kyle twice. He has not picked up, and his voicemail is full. So I'm going to print these out for you and for the city. And he's also says on this streamline about the smoke testing that the city told them that was done. It's on the text.
I told him it was not done because we have not done it, and we made sure last night that it was on the record that it was not done as well.
Work is on line outside the neighborhood. Will acquire line on college, which is dead. Blah 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 blah. And, then she says, because by the way, this is water at our neighbor's house a few nights ago. That hasn't even gotten to council yet. But she has talked to the city. Let me find. We have to go through and look at all the texts. That the city told her.
Nobody has talked to her.
I left a message
September 23rd.
September 23rd of what year?
This year.
Okay, I'm just clarifying. I just need to hear it.
Well, let me tell you something else too. I called Kyle the first time because I don't give people's numbers out. I didn't give the number out to you until I asked permission from the person. I don't do that. So I called him and said, "Can I have permission to give your number out to the mayor? Because there's an issue."
Sure.
So I told him that, and no problem. He said, "Oh, it's a good thing you called." This has happened over the last 2 years. We've had 2 other incidents. I only knew about this one in September on our line of 19 people. I left a message for Mike with the city to find the work was in the neighborhood or just related to the work in the downtown area. We'll let you know what it says. Then there talks about the smoke testing.
Which there's been none.
Well, it's in the it's in this text line.
When he and I spoke.
Well, you know what? I'll show you the text
I have
line from
the
his
conversation
wife.
recorded,
That's
so I can be
fine.
more than happy to hit play because we have not done any smoke testing. And I said, well, we haven't done any, so I'm curious as to how the snakes got in there because I called a master plumber. Snakes don't get in the sewer; they don't come up. And he said 99% of the time somebody places it in the toilet. So I said, that's what
places it in the
yes, the master plumber, and because he was out at a house, and the son was playing a crit on the mom.
Well,
he said they don't get
no.
in
You know
there.
what Kyle told me? Kyle told me when I called him to give permission to give you them that it has happened on 2 other occasions. His
that was
wife
like
said
7
that
or
to
8
him.
years ago, and then he said, I said, this is Sarah Countryman. I understand. Miss Jenny Stewart stood up at City Council and said that we were doing smoke testing. We have yet to do any smoke testing, number 1. Number 2, I understand that you are one of 2 households that have had snakes in the toilet.
Jennifer Anthony has to.
Yes, but I know y'all are good friends, so quite frankly, I don't trust that. But I didn't know him, so I said, well, I mean, I'm just saying, so I called him and he said, well, he started laughing and he said, what is she starting? He said, my wife responded to a text. And he said, we haven't had a snake in here.
She didn't respond to a text. She started the text.
I'm just telling you what he told me. He said, we haven't had anything for 7 or 8 years. He said, and the last time we saw a snake here, the first time he said, a year and a half to 2 years. And then he said 2 to 3 years. And I said,
he told me the last 2 years.
I said, so you haven't seen one in the last week or last month? And he said, no, ma'am, I have not.
Well, his wife clearly said.
And he said, he said, Jenny was, I don't know what her agenda is, but she was starting
I
the
don't
text.
have an agenda.
I'm telling you what the man said. And he said, my wife answered a text and
the first
told
one
her,
was found in the hallway and the second one was found in the toilet.
But that's what he told me also, but that wasn't recently, that was years ago, is what he told me.
This came on to,
it could be.
She said it on the 23rd.
She said it on the 23rd.
Yeah, but she didn't say a date or a timeline, but she just said it's happened.
No.
She didn't say last week or last Tuesday.
No, she said
It says right here on the 23rd.
Okay.
We've had 2 water snakes come up from our toilets.
Uh-huh.
Kyle called the city, and I hoped it would stop the grotesque experience.
Sure. But did she say
Sarah.
when that was?
No,
It's just
but it
happened.
came on the 23rd.
But she said they said it hasn't happened
Well,
in a
how
year
would
and a
we
half.
know?
Let's
I
go-
know.
let's
I
go
agree.
knock- let's go knock
I
on the door
agree.
and visit.
I mean, do because I'm telling you, I took copious notes.
I've had it with this shit.
Well, same.
Let's go knock on
Just
the
calm
door.
down. So yeah, the 23rd is when
Yeah.
this came out.
Okay, but,
So everyone assumed her snakes were coming up at that
Yeah,
time.
and I think that
And that's
he
when
was
they were
just
doing
saying,
the work on the
he
street.
said that they were thinking ever.
No.
Apparently he was.
Yeah.
Well, he was. She made it sound like it was happening right now.
So his
Yes,
wife
and
is
so
sending
that's what
texts
he
out
said.
and
He
he didn't
said-
read them?
Oh, I
And
don't
then
know
I
about that.
called him.
I don't know that he did that. I can't speak for that.
Let's go-
But what
let's
I
go
can
call
tell you
Kyle.
is he said she responded to text. He said, "We don't want any part of this, but it's been years." That's what he told me.
I
You can
know.
go ask him
She sent that
So
out.
why did you call her a liar then?
Yeah.
because he said that it's been years.
Why did you assume that because we got a text on the 23rd, she was lying
He
about
told
it?
me that it was a text regarding 2 and 3 years ago.
Yeah,
and 7
but it
and
doesn't
8 years
say
ago.
here, hey,
But
2
I
or
don't know
3
what your
years
text
ago we
said.
got it.
That's what I assume it was, though, because
Why didn't you call me and
why
verify with
would I?
me?
Because you told me it was just recent.
Because
It was. It was the
That's
23rd.
September.
The message she was, but he's
September
telling me it's years
23rd.
ago.
Well, how the fuck would we know it was years ago?
How was I know that it was September 23rd?
Crikey.
I did it.
Because
I
everybody-
reported
Well, you
back to what
assumed
he
the
said.
worst is
You
the whole
assumed the
point.
worst.
As well.
You did.
And I
And I'm going to
reported
call
back.
into my attorney.
Good. I reported back
course it's
exactly what I
And
was
then you
told.
defamed her in public.
It's not
That's
the first
not
time
your
I've
job.
been defamed by
That's not
anybody
your
all over.
job. Well,
You
you get
didn't
that.
defame-
You're
I
a
said
public
you were
servant.
not, yes.
You're a public servant. You can be defamed.
Okay.
You cannot defame
am a
citizens
public
in
citizen.
public.
My
You
understanding
gotta
is
look at
Kyle,
the law, darling.
Kyle
You
said
don't know
you
it.
lied.
Well, then let's go knock on his door.
Go knock on his door. I welcome it.
Exactly.